It's time for Uncle Hank. Question everything with M. Kalani Souza and Uncle Hank Ferguson.
Hey, gangy. Welcome back to another edition of Uncle Hank. Question everything.
That's me. I'm Uncle Hank.
That's Uncle Hank. And I'm wondering why. Waiwi, actually. I'm wondering why is Waiwi become such a problem for the ranchers? What's up with that?
Well, you know, we did a little research on it, and Waiwi apparently was introduced in 1825.
1825. And that's about the same time the Paniolo, the Hispaniola ranchers came over to teach Hawaiians, right?
Yeah. And so it was introduced here, and I mean, it's called strawberry guava, right?
Okay, so wait, strawberry guava, and it's originally from where? South America, Central America?
I
think Brazil, right? I think it's a coastal Brazilian.
Yeah, it's related to the guava, right?
It's a guava plant.
Right.
Guava, the Hawaiians say.
And so, how did strawberry guava get the name Waiwi?
Oh, you see, now you're asking.
See, I mean,
right?
That's
a hell of a question, gang. Hell of a question. How you get a name? You know, my grandfather used to say, hey, this plant is this. He called them this. He called them this. And then he had a big family of plants he called rubbish. Rubbish plants.
Right.
And the rubbish plants, he told me, you don't need to learn that name, boy. That plant is just rubbish. You just show them over there. That's all compost. Compost. But that plant he called Waiwi.
Now this is very interesting because in trying to understand the name Waiwi, it's like vai. It's riches. It has to do with an abundance.
It means to have a large amount.
A large
amount.
Yeah, and we know that the Waiwi trees produce lots of fruit.
It's very prolific, right? Lots of fruit, lots of wood. I mean, I love them when it tall's straight growing like that. Oh, that makes good fence, good construction for holly.
Yes, and in fact, it makes me wonder that, you know, if you have a plant that's so prolific, then why couldn't they contain it in a certain area and grow it for something? Like, for instance, Waiwi is really, really good wood for firewood. It's one of the few firewoods that burns evenly, no matter how much of it is.
Yeah, we used to love it. I mean, it burns solid. The guava wood is good for solid. Waiwi is the better burning wood.
Waiwi is one of the best woods to use for smoked meat. Because you have no aftertaste that goes with it.
Yeah, this is true.
And again, it's got that real steady heat, no matter if it's a big pile or a little pile.
It's pretty hard wood. It's pretty dense and
very
hard
dense
wood.
Yes. So it would seem to me it could. I mean, I've got them at I have 3 acres of Waiwi.
Wow.
And I have Waiwi like you've never seen Waiwi, this kind of size, the kind like corner post size.
Wow.
And then I've also got Waiwi where their branches are like 30, 40 feet long that are only this big around, which makes it also pliable. You know, I mean, what I'm trying to say is that I think a better idea than trying to kill this off, because obviously that hasn't worked.
Well, that's the strange thing. Okay, we're trying to kill off this plant. Now, let's go there for a moment. The state of Hawaii has a biological program where they're trying to kill off this plant because it's a problem for the cattle ranchers, I think.
Because it's so prolific. It spreads to where there's...
And I guess it's prolific because all kinds of animals eat this as a food source,
yes,
right?
And carries it all around.
Right. Primarily the pigs do too, right? The pigs and the pig hunters, they know you follow the Waiwi, you're going to find the pigs.
Oh, yes. And so that makes you wonder. It's like, now, we see that there's all kinds of uses for it. We see that animals love it. It would seem to me that we should be able to utilize the product rather than try to chase it out. I mean, Vaiwi,
chase
it's
it out.
very-
They're trying to eradicate it, right? With biological, with some kind of insect. I don't know. It's pretty high tech eradication. I mean,
that's what's brought up this.
yeah, I don't know all the details, but we should ask some questions about releasing biological fixes in Hawaii. The previous biological fixes, they didn't go so good.
Hawaii's loaded with bad science experiments.
Oh boy,
we got all kinds of things over here.
Yeah.
I don't know what what it is about Americans that just seems that they have to control everything. I mean, I was always taught you learn to utilize everything. Everything. And Vaiwi is to me a plant that can be utilized. For instance,
the Hawaiians
charcoal.
named it, right? They named
Yeah.
them Vaivi. They don't call them strawberry guava.
Right.
They call them Vaivi, but they call the other guava guava.
Right.
They never gave that one Hawaiian name. So one of them they consider rubbish and the other one got a name. So, okay, this is starting to sound weird though. How come the state wants to eradicate it? I know the pigs love to eat it, and pigs, that's food supplied for most of us kind of local people. If we're going to have meat on the table, it's going to be from pigs they caught up in the upland.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and so that brings the question, why are you trying to get rid of something that feeds natural animals like pigs? But they're trying to get rid of the pigs too. You know what I mean?
Well, I think they want us buying all of our food off those boats that bring everything here with, what about the 300% the cost as in Iowa.
We got to ask some questions, bro. We got to ask some questions.
Like how we keep up with the Joneses. And I think that's the Jones
Jones
Act.
Act. Yeah, that's what they mean.
How you keep up with the Joneses? How you going to act with the Joneses? How they say, Rob, Vaivi. That's just the beginning of our problems. The Vaivi, that's, what is that, Myrtle? Myrtle
it's
family.
in the Myrtle family, yes. Yes.
Myrtaceae or something like that, the genus.
Right.
Yeah. And I guess there's a lot of plants in the Myrtle family, and they're going to release this biological agent to help.
Yeah, it's
diminish.
crazy because in that same family is also guava. Guava is the same plant.
Right, so how are we going to have the guava juice? How are we going to have passion guava juice, passion orange guava? No more pog. No more pog.
Bro, I don't know if you remember, you could always sell 5-gallon buckets to, what Marasala place over here?
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, bro, they buy them by the 5-gallon bucket.
The buy people make juice, you mean?
For make manasadas.
Oh, dang.
Yeah.
So, a lot of food use then out of this plant.
There's a lot of food use.
So maybe the Vaivi signifies the abundance of use, the abundance of food available because of this plant. And maybe not only should they reconsider, but they ought to reconnoiter what the outcomes are of those releasing biological controls into the native flora.
Something I noticed when they released that, I think it was in months that suddenly we had this new disease called rapid ohia death.
What?
Now, I'm not sure if this is related or not.
Gang, that's a whole nother question. We better get on figuring that one out. For now, let's all be thankful that we all have had Vaivi jelly and Vaivi juice. Maybe the way the state is going one day, there will be no Vaivi. I don't know. Join us next time on Uncle Hank. Yes. We got more questions.
Be a part of a minority view.
Ao he pau ike, I ka halau ho o kahi.